Working in a cash in hand job, they say you can work for more hours, save a lot of money, and not pay tax. So, is that the way to go? Today in this video, we are going to talk about cash in hand jobs, if you have to do that or if you shouldn't. So, without any further ado, let's get started. When someone's working in a cash in hand job, basically the hours and their income is not tracked. Because you as an employee isn't associated with an employer using a government authority number such as TFN or ABN. Meaning, even if you are crossing the work hour limit, especially if you're an international student, it is not being tracked because you are not going by your tax file number when you're working with an employer. The second most inclining reason is savings. Now, because your income is not tracked, you don't have to pay tax. There's no TFN associated with it, which means the government isn't able to track how many hours are you working or how much are you earning with a specific employer. However, there's a huge caveat to it, and I never recommend someone to do a cash in hand job, and here's why. Let's first understand certain things. Once you enter into Australia and you are ready to get employed by an employer, you need to get set with certain things. The first one is TFN. TFN is nothing but a tax file number wherein it is being given to an individual so that they can be identified in the tax and super system using that particular number. Another one here apart from TFN is ABN. ABN is nothing but Australian business number. Now, if you are someone who would like to work as a sole proprietor, contractor, or even someone who wants to have a business, you need to have this Australian business number because you will then be identified using this number. Now let's dive deep into why I don't recommend anyone to do cash in hand jobs. Number one, it is illegal. The reason here is, let's say for example, you are an international student and you are on your student visa. Your income is not being tracked, your hours are not being tracked. If there's someone who complains that you are working in a certain kind of job wherein you're not associated with your tax file number and you're taking cash as a form of payment, there are high chances that you might get deported. I've heard a lot of stories where students were working in cash in hand jobs and they were getting deported because someone has called up the department. So the department has done a raid and that individual has got deported. So it might be really advantageous for the employer, but it is never advantageous for any individual or an employee because it is definitely illegal, especially if you are going more than the work hours that your visa is stipulated for. Number two is no official documentation. Let's say for example, whenever you get employed in a proper part-time job or a casual job, and once you start getting paid, you usually get your pay slips, you get your employment letter, you get your super contributions, you get your work insurance, you get a lot of benefits and you get a lot of official documentation from your employers. And you might ask, Sarvani, why do you think these documentation are so important? If you are someone who is looking to get credit card, you want to buy a house, not even that, you just want to buy a car for yourself, these official documentations will prove that you have a stable income, you have an employer who pays you monthly or fortnightly pay, which is why you can return the payments back to them as well. And if you are working in a cash in hand job, there's no pay slips as such, or if there's pay slips, then they are usually tampered and there's no super contributions. Now you might ask, Sarvani, if super is that important? Yeah, why not? You are going to get about $200,000 as super once you reach the age limit of 65. I mean, why do you want to leave that money working more than 20 hours where there's a lot of risk associated with it, right? You are always at risk more than the employer. Number three, again, no super contribution. Usually whenever you are working with an employer, there's a super contribution apart from your salary or including your salary, that depends on the package, about 10 to 17%. I personally get about 11% super from my current employer, but there are a lot of other employers who pay 17% super apart from the salary that you earn. In addition to the salary package that you have, you will have plus 10% super or plus 17% super, and this contributes to a lot of money. If you don't want to wait until your retired age, and if you think Australia is not for you, after about 10 years you want to leave the country permanently, that's when you can actually claim your super as well. So all the money that you have in your super, here, there will be certain deductions and then they will return back to you if you're permanently leaving the country. So why do you want to leave that money, right? Number 4, illusion of savings. Let's say, for example, there are a lot of international students who think that if they are working more than 20 hours or 24 hours, more than the visa limit, they are going to get a lot of money, and using that money, they can actually pay for their uni fee. So all the extra money that you have will go into savings. That's the usual student mentality. Now what happens here is, if you are working for more hours, which means that you're spending more time at work rather than university, in return you are definitely going to fail at exams in the university. Here what happens, whenever you fail in the university, you pay a certain amount per subject. All the money that you're saving by working more than the visa limit, all that money is going back to the university. It's just a trap. So these are the reasons why I recommend no one to go ahead and do a cash in hand job. It will take some time for the students to get some part-time jobs, but be prepared whenever you're coming here. Be prepared that probably 2 to 3 months you will be here without a job. So be prepared financially, and that's when you enter the country. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please hit like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll see you next week. Until then, bye.